Hello and welcome to Order No Better's podcast. My name is Karl. I'm joined by Stats Andrew Dalton. How you doing, man?
Very well, thank you very well. Lovely to be here once again.
Good stuff, good stuff. Tonight's show is going to be, we're going to try and get the predictions off Gilly. We're also going to talk about the game at the weekend and a few other bits and bobs. So, look, we'll talk to you in a second, all right?
Lovely.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Order No Better podcast. It's great to have you again for another session. Stats, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, very well, very well. Another busy weekend. I'll stand up at Norton with the ladies in the FA Cup. We'll come to that shortly. But obviously, the most important point probably was a result on Sunday and the return of Lord Patrick Bamford.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get into that chat about the game now in a few minutes. Usually we have the old predictions, but poor old Gilly is absolutely flat out with work at the moment, so we don't have them to hand. But I don't know. I don't think anyone fared too well going by the draw. So I think Jason might have done all right for himself, but he's usually going against us this year, so that's why he's done so well for himself. But
I think I was doing quite well, actually. I think I got about three or four, 3 out of 4, actually. Then I think we're all looking good at half time, and then it kind of turned on its head in the Brentford game, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
I think everyone was kind of thinking, at halftime, they were like, I've picked a win.
Yes.
Might not be a 1-0 win, but it's a win. And 3 points for a win, but 5 for a correct prediction. But totally, that one went to the wayside for us. So that's the way it is. So what we'll do is we'll try and get Gilly to get those ones over to us, and we'll try and squeeze it in somewhere along the way. So look, we'll get back to the game anyway. Brentford. I know you were at the ladies' game.
Yes.
I was at the game myself, but I'm sure you've watched the full match back at this stage now, and you'd have a fair idea of how you think we played. Like, what was your opinion on it?
Yeah, I've managed to watch the game back yesterday or last night, should I say. It just feels like we played really well for 45 minutes. We probably could have gone in more than the Tyler Roberts score that we had. Great finish from Tyler on his 100th appearance for the club. And you're thinking, 100th century of appearances. I think he's still quite young as well, and hopefully he can go on and get some more appearances. You think you're going to take the game to Brentford, but I think the pivotal moment for me was when Calvin went off, because I'm kind of lost a little bit of shape when Calvin went off, and I think Marcelo admitted in his press conference afterwards that it did cause a little bit of disruption. And you look at the 2 goals, Karl, and you're thinking they're probably quite avoidable. And then you're chasing a game, but it was another team that we've seen with Wolves time wasting quite a lot.
Their keeper was lucky to get out of Ellen Road. I'll be perfectly honest with you with that crack.
I didn't think David Coote had his best game as a referee on Sunday afternoon. If you actually look at the corner that Leeds score the equaliser from Bamford, it's such a cheap corner that Fernandes has given away. It's a ball that's come in that he probably could just leave, and if he does that, Brentford probably end up with all 3 points. But the plus point is we didn't lose. It's 5 points in a week, which probably isn't the worst return in the world. And we're 6 points clear going into the tough run of Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa. So, when you equalise in the 93rd minute, it feels like a bit of a victory when you're coming out the ground. But I think there's stuff to work on, and I think that these next 4 games will tell us a lot about where this season really heading.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment, to be fair. Like, I just going back to the Calvin thing real quick. I thought when you've got a centre-back that's going off, generally to try and keep the coercion within the team and the formation, you bring on a like for like. Yeah. Like obviously we're not allowed, question Marcelo too much, but he's admitted himself that was a bit of an error on his part, the way he went about it. But if it's the simple thing like for like, why not just do that? Why complicate things the way it did? It essentially, in my opinion, cost us at least one of the goals. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Interesting you say that, because I was sort of reading social media at half time of the women's game, and a lot of people sort of saying, why didn't Cresswell come on
yeah,
at for Coops and do like for like? Obviously, that's Bielsa's prerogative, and in the end, it just about paid dividends. Obviously, he brought Bramford on and went what, 3 up top when he came on for Junior Firpo. So, yeah, you live by your decisions, you die by your decisions, and in the end, we got a point. I think a lot of people, from reading the comments on social media, probably would have thought they would have seen Charlie Cresswell there on Sunday afternoon, which sort of then leads to, obviously we haven't had the press conference for pre-Chelsea yet, Karl, which I think will be on Thursday. What team will he put out? I don't know. We're expecting Coops to be out. It did look a bad injury. Same with Calvin. Nothing's obviously been said yet, but yeah, be a real test of this squad's capability, which I'm sure they can come through with flying colours come sort of the end of 2021.
yeah, I'd like to think so as well. But at the same time, the only person that we know is injured is Cooper, and he's the only one we haven't heard the rumors about. So, like, I don't want to address the rumors and try and spark anything, like, but we need to wait. Like, it's heard on a social media network somewhere, and unless it comes from the club or Bielsa, I think everyone should just chill. It looked fairly innocuous for Calvin when it happened. I don't think there was too much in it. He's gone into harder tackles than that and come out of it jogging away, no bother to him, like, so I don't think it's too much. It's a bit innocuous perhaps, but with the Bamford one, I don't understand how he would how that would even injure him, unless he his little ballerina effort was the point at which he injured his ankle again.
Allegedly, we say. I think, unfortunately, in a day and age, and here comes the bearded wonder. We live in this day and age, Karl, where social media is so rife, football chat rooms are so rife with speculation, and until it comes from the manager or the club to say these players, player A, player B, player C, aren't going to be involved, it's difficult to believe, because rumours do fly around. And let's see what Marcelo says on Thursday lunchtime pre-Chelsea, and we'll go from there, because who knows? Look, I wasn't there on Sunday, so I can't really comment on the Bamford one. I've seen him holding his hamstring, but it might be something and nothing for all we know about.
Well, this is the thing. Like, we were discussing the game, Jay, and just how Bielsa admitted that not going like for like when Cooper got injured, was detrimental to us actually conceding at least one of the goals. But we were just talking about the injuries that were sustained in the game, and the only one that we know is an actual injury was Cooper, and all we've heard about is Calvin and Bamford, and it's like like Cooper's the only one we know for sure is injured at the moment. Chill out.
I think Twitter will probably crash when that press conference is starting.
Oh, please don't.
So, yeah.
Everybody's going to be trying to find out what's actually going on, and I hate when we don't get any news. Like, why don't they, come out and say something one way or the other?
This is it, but I think that's the way we've kind of got used to the club being run at the moment. It's a very tight ship when it comes to rumours of any kind. And the fact that nothing has come out is probably a good thing, because they're assessing it and they're just kind of going, right, well, this is the crack, and we can actually give you a concrete answer now, rather than, all the crap that we're used to going through from past owners and managers, So it's a good thing, but we won't get too far into that anyway. What was you were at the game on Sunday, Jay? What did you make of the first and second half, just real quick before we move on a bit?
It was weird, actually. We didn't start as intense as we did in the previous game, I thought, and we seemed to be labouring a fair bit more. I don't think there were any point in the game where we really looked brilliant, and it were a bit scrappy, and the atmosphere was odd in the stadium. There were a weird vibe in the air. I think it was probably that whole thing that pretty much everybody had said, that they weren't really worried about this game, but the fact you're not worried about the game kind of leaves you with an eerie feeling, because you get that worry, don't you, deep down beneath it, where it turns out you are kind of worried because you're not worried, even though that doesn't make any sense. But you know what I mean, don't you?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you're kind of trying to hide the anxiety of the game ahead. Like, it's masking it with, I'm not worried about it. Deep down inside, you're shitting it.
Yeah, and I swear to God, like when they went ahead, it was just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, just everybody where I was stood were all the same. Everyone was just like, it were doom and gloom. And it just felt like we were throwing points away again. And we're not, especially with the December run coming up, we're not in a position to do that.
Yeah, I was saying to Stats just before you came on, I thought the first 10 or 15 minutes we actually, went at them quite well. I felt we should have capitalised. Like we've done it quite a lot throughout the start of the season or the first 15 games.
I felt we were better than them at that point. I just didn't feel it was as intense as the previous game when we absolutely came out of the blocks.
Absolutely, but like the thing is, we need to prolong that now. Like we need it for what we're used to. We're used to 75, 80 minutes of that, and then slowing down, but still being at a quicker pace than the opposition because we've just wrecked them.
Yeah, exactly.
But
the worst thing is that we're always sat watching us when we have those periods of dominance and thinking, why can't we score when we're on top? It's going to cost us every time.
Cheers.
Interestingly, to come out of Sunday's game, it's only the second time we've scored 2 goals in a game this season. Third after Everton and Norwich, which is sort of
bad, isn't it?
Says it all. But
look, you could see the impact Bamford made when he came on straight away.
Massively.
And he even got his goal. So it just shows when we have that natural goal scorer, which he has now become a natural goal scorer a little bit. Let's be honest. Since he's with Bielsa, it's taken him 2.5 years to become the good finisher he is. Like the finishes against Villa, the composure, stuff like that. He didn't have that when he first came to us. Like, you know what I mean? And he's a good finisher now. But you could see the buzz in the players and the buzz in the stadium when he came back on. It was insane. And that's got to be at least another 15 or 20% for the players in energy and just enthusiasm wise,
I said something about imagine the ovation he's going to get when he comes on, and somebody behind me said, "Oh, you wouldn't have said that 4 years ago, would you?" I mean, look how important he's become.
Yeah.
Like when we first signed him, we were all like, "Bamford, 7 million,"
But we go on about missing Calvin, but he's it's shown he's just as important.
100%.
People probably wouldn't put them in the same bracket, but for us as a team, he is as important as Calvin is in his position. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Looking at how we've done without him, I bet his agent's rubbing his hands together.
Jesus, yeah. big contract coming up soon, I think.
Got to be on it. Got to.
Just signed a 5-year contract in August, so I don't think he'll be getting another one. But he's pivotal. We all know Paddy's pivotal to this squad, to the way we play, and that's just not from the attacking. That's from defending from the back as well. He'll run his blood towards. Not saying the other players do, because they do. They all run the blood towards. But it just gives us that extra little thing, doesn't he? Bamford in both attack and defence, and hopefully be there on Saturday afternoon against one of his one of the clubs he started his career at Chelsea. Yeah. We never really got an opportunity, so he's absolutely pivotal to the way we play, and absolutely delighted to see him and get on the score sheet. And I'll tell you that I was in Norton in the pub in Norton. I was following Phil Hayes' tweets. We're having something to eat, and it comes up on Phil Hayes' tweets. Go! with all the Leeds United women's players. So nice little end to the day. But yeah, pivotal to where we play, and massively important. He's got that goal and got a monkey off the back. To do it on his first game back as well will just increase his confidence in front of goal as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really pleased about that, because I thought, now we don't have to worry about having a run with all the expectation on him trying to get his first goal since he comes back. Just got it straight out of the way, and he did what a good striker does. It come off his knee.
Yeah,
took his knee in there. He just went for it because he put himself in the right place, and that's what you need.
It was interesting. Yeah,
all good strikers are bought on the basis that they can actually knee it in the goal, Jay.
Mate, any good striker will happily score with their ass.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Absolutely. Stats, can you just fill us in a little bit about the ladies' game before we move on to the next segment?
Yeah,
That's all right. Goal
big
scorers and who they played and stuff.
Yeah, big game at the weekend against Norton ladies in the FA Cup second round with a massive incentive to play Durham ladies on the weekend in the FA Cup third round. The position haven't been in for a wee while. Got off to a great start. Aaliyah Nolan, who has been injured from a Bermudan international. Pacey, brilliant player. Took a lovely through ball from Abby Brown out of the Norton keeper, 1-0. Leeds had chances after us in, I think, the fourth minute, and Leeds had chance after chance to try and double the money. They got caught a bit on the counter-attack through a brilliant equaliser before half-time, and it was a nitty game, a scrappy game played on what can be a bit of a quagmire of a pitch because of the weather and the rain, and Catherine Smith with 2 minutes to go, a minute to go, slid in to give Leeds the lead and the win, and it all sets us up nicely for a massive FA Cup tie at Taddy on Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock kickoff. Get down there if you can to the Global Autocare Stadium. I'll be there. A team that are in the Championship, so it's a really big test and a challenge for Dan O'Hearn's side. It's what I'm really looking forward to. It's the biggest game I've been involved with the women since I started in sort of January 2008, December 17, January 2018, and it's brilliant. It's a real buzz around the place at the moment. I know we're third in the league at the moment. We've not played a league game for a wee while, but this is probably the biggest game in a lot of the girls' players' history at the club, and it's one we're all looking forward to. So if you can get down to Taddy on Sunday, I think tickets are £5 or something off the top of my head. Keep an eye out on the website, but it's a game that everybody connected to the club is really looking forward to.
Yeah, they're progressing nicely now this year so far. I've been to a game or two myself, but that's going to be a big game for Rebecca Hunt now, that isn't it?
Unfortunately, Becca's injured. Unfortunately,
no way, she is not.
Yeah, I was talking to Becca on Sunday. She came up to Norton. She didn't live too far from there. Well, not too far from there. She's not from there. She's also not too far from there. And unfortunately, I think she's got a knock. I think she's trying to be fitter in training, I think, tonight.
Oh, man, no
so
way.
yeah, it's be a big shame if Becca's not playing in that one.
Yeah.
But players have taken chances. Laura Bartrup scored 14 goals this season, unbelievable. Aaliyah's obviously come back in. Sandra Martin Suarez is brilliant up top as well. Abby Brown taking a goal as well, and it's a really nice group of girls to be around that all play the part in the team. And they're going to hope they go on to big things, and it's a massive test. It's a David versus Goliath tie really on Sunday afternoon. That Durham are 2 leagues above. But obviously, the gulf with the Championship. This is a team that train 30 hours a week. So, and they've got, I think, some internationals in there as well. But there's no pressure on Leeds on Sunday. It's one we're all looking forward to. The game will be broadcast live, I believe, on Twitter, on YouTube, should I say, on LUTV, and it's one we're very, very much looking forward to.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I hope Rebecca gets her fitness sorted, because it's as big a game for her coming from up that direction as well. So fingers crossed. We're just going to have a quick word from our partners before we carry on.
Or to know better, we're excited to announce a new partnership. 3 Retro is the retro football shop. 3 Retro was born from the love of the game, from historical nights on the Cold Terrace, and from the love of vintage shirts of a bygone era. Find the referral link and discount code in our social media accounts and in the comments and descriptions of All to Know Better podcast recordings for a 10% discount on the full range.
So we've got a couple of comments here. We've got a regular watcher of Breville's Ghost. He's come in with this dinger altogether. Even though, wonder if Victor has calmed down yet. Love to see such a passion from senior management. Loved Raf giving it to the Brentford fans. I particularly liked that Raf bit where he was just standing there giving it stocks. He was like, yes, that's a good. That was a good spot. I don't think anyone was calm enough to be able to put their eye on that while they were at the game, but it was a good spot
I never
anyway.
Saw it.
I didn't
was
see it
too busy going insane.
Yeah, I was losing my shit.
I think I ended up on deck with about 3 people over at top of it. So
it's the way it goes, though, isn't it? You got to expect that. So we've got Michael Brown, Newcastle looking for a director of football, and it's rumoured that they're after Victor Orta.
Yeah,
not heard that.
Piss off.
No, I actually did see I think it was the Newcastle Chronicle, is it?
That's the one.
I think I saw them put up a tweet about not like they were apparently
Newcastle
discussing.
Chronicle. Is that like one of those that you pick up in co-op from Nate Till? You know, them free things.
I think it was originated from Bite Grove or something like that. You know.
Oh, great.
But yeah, I saw their that's a good question, Michael. Cheers, man. I saw their tweet with that as well. You know. But look, we'll move on anyway. Jay, I want to come to yourself with the prediction, or not the predictions, with the poll, please, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, okay. You're going to have to actually let me have a look at the result then, seeing as you've not told me this until just now.
Well, yeah, I understand that. But sure, you know, this is a very off-the-cuff podcast, so let's just deal with it, dude.
It certainly is. And I'll take my piece of responsibility for that.
You may as well, man, because let's be honest.
Just while Jay does that, the youth team are in action tonight to the Ricoh Arena in the Youth Cup, and they're winning 2-0 goals from Bradbury and Max Dean, a competition that Leeds only won twice, shall I say, back in 1992-93, beat Man United 4 on aggregate. Man United team of the Beckham, the Nevilles, the Savages of the world. Jamie Frost got a fantastic bicycle kick at Ellen Road, and then obviously won it in, I think they won 3-1 on aggregate against Crystal Palace in season 96-97 under Paul Hart's tutelage. So yeah, nice. Scott Garner's side 2-0 up at the Ricoh.
Nice one. That's all
fantastic.
Right.
Well, I've got a result for you boys. So
what were the options, man?
The options that we had were the 49ers investment, with the story going around that Rads has not been right happy about, by all accounts. Did Tyler do enough to keep his place ahead of Bamford in the next game? It's sod's law that he finally scored a goal, isn't it? Just when Bamford's back. The Leeds season ticket exchange, big swizz regarding. I think that there's been a lot gone on this week, hasn't there, about the terms and conditions and people not being allowed to pass the ticket on to people, and you're obliged to sell it back if you can't go, but the club sell it for a higher price and you get back into your account. But I get that because we pay a certain price for the games and we get that price back. But anyway, and the next one is the crowd tension at games, which probably sort of harks back to the strange atmosphere at the weekend. I don't think the crowds had that much tension, to be fair, in the last few. It was just the previous game. But the overwhelming winner there was the 49ers investment, with a whopping 43% of the vote.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Indeed. So what are you saying, Karl?
We had a chat in the group there, and we were kind of saying that we hoped it doesn't go all commercial and, you know, the way some clubs tend to go when American owners come in, you know. And I think with the way that Prague Maha, is that how you pronounce it?
That's
Prague
Maha? Yeah.
Marate, isn't it?
Marate, yes.
I've heard it said both ways, to be fair.
If you're watching Prague, look, I moon pie. That's all I've got to say. He's been around the club quite a bit since they've got involved, and he's become very close and friendly with Rads as well, you know. And I think he understands what we expect, I think, as a fan base. We don't want the fucking tinsel and, you know, sparkly halftime atmosphere with lights and all that shite. Like, we don't want that. We want Ellen Road to be Ellen Road, and that's as simple as that. And I think he kind of understands being around, because he's there quite a bit now. Like, you know, he's over and back, and he's watching the games over there, or, you know, and this. And I think any investment from them now is going to be a sound one, and it has been so far. I think the January window is vital this season above all. I like whatever about Bielsa, you know, doesn't like to buy in January or whatever, but it's one of them windows now with the injuries we have. Their investment could be very, very key to how we move forward from January, you know. And I'd like to think that they've got the best intentions, I think, you know what I mean? I don't think, like, as Rads has always said, he's a custodian of the club. He's not, you know, he's the owner, obviously, but he's the custodian. He's holding on to it for the fans. And I think he wouldn't get involved with another consortium of businesses if he didn't feel that they were the same. And I think bringing your man on who owns all them, you know, the supermarkets or whatever in Australia, the Westfield centres and all them, yeah. Like he's
Lowry.
massive. Yeah, he's a massive Leeds fan. So having him on board as well will kind of, it, just my opinion, probably keep the San Francisco 49ers investors in check, because he'd be like, that's not what Leeds fans want. You know, it's nearly like having a billionaire fan on the board, really.
Yeah.
You know, so it could be very, very good for us. And I think January is important now. This is where we need to kind of go, right, we shit or get off the pot, like.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
what do you think, Stats?
I think it's positive. I think it's possibly something that's always been on the cards when sort of the 49ers did kind of come involved with the club, whenever it was. I think that there's two parts that the sort of Karl's picked up on: the January transfer window, which I'll come to shortly. But as a supporter, as long as your team is winning on the football field, and as long as the income is coming into the club, I don't think people mind too much who's sort of sat on the board, because I think as fans, all we want to see is a successful football team. Now,
well, that's it. That's Newcastle fans, but they don't have a successful football team.
I know they beat Burnley at the weekend. They're sort of sat in the bottom three and struggling around under the table. What Andrea has done for this football club is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Obviously, he had half and half to do with Massimo Cellino in January 2017. Then he took over full stop in sort of May 2017, and it didn't work out with Thomas Christiansen for one reason or another. Paul Heckingbottom, what do we all know about that? And then obviously with Victor and Angus, he got the man that brought Leeds United back to the promised land. So whatever does happen in the future with whether it's the 49ers or Andrea, what Andrea has done to this club can never ever be forgotten. That he's got us back to the promised land of the Premier League, and I think it's very positive. I think if Andrea feels that the way this club can move forward and hopefully challenge for honours is by having more involvement with the 49ers, and then so be it, as long as we've got a successful football team over the next 4 or 5 years. And I think that's why this season is so pivotal that we stay in the Premier League. And I think, touching on what Karl said about the transfer window, it is a notorious tough transfer window in January, because players aren't wanting to be released from clubs or move in halfway through a season. I know Marcelo's not often bought too many in the window. I think the ones that kind of come to mind, Kiko Casilla in January 2019, Ian Poveda, unfortunately injured at the moment, obviously horrible injury they got at Blackburn. Big JKA, John Kevin Augustin. So it's a window. It's I can see Karl's reaction. It's a tough window to try and buy players, because you've got to get the selling club to release players. Now I know we've been linked with the likes of Ross Barkley,
Aaron Ramsey,
which I think will be
no chance on his wages.
But that's the other side of it, isn't it? I think a lot depends on the injuries. We said earlier in the pod that we don't quite know the situation with Paddy, if these are just alleged injuries with Paddy, Liam Cooper and Calvin Phillips. And we know Marcelo likes a small squad. We know that he's worked with in 3.5 years at Ellen Road. So I think the next 4, 5, 6 weeks are massive for this football club, and what direction we're probably going into. If we can stay up this season, which I'm still quite confident we will do. Don't play that back end of the season. We've got relegated, please.
Outtakes.
That's one that we don't want.
Yeah, absolutely. And the second season, we know it's tougher. We've heard of this second season syndrome, and we know Sheffield United suffered with it last season. But I just feel this team, they need 7 more wins to stay in this Premier League. That'll take us, that's 21 points. That takes to 38 points. I think then we're fine. And I think people do tend to get in a panic, because when Leeds lose, everyone kind of loses loses everything, and meltdowns on social media, this and that, and they're trying to ignore it. But yeah, January is a tough window. But just going back to the 49ers, I personally think it can be a positive for the football club. And as long as we've got a winning football side, that's the main thing for me, really.
Yeah, I think you're right. And as you say, like, people don't really care what's going on off the pitch if the team's doing well. But then when the team's not doing well, then extra focus does tend to go onto the ownership and the management. That's just how it is. Yeah. I tell you what, when Rads first bought in and he had to work with Cellino every day, he must have gone home, done a shot of Sambuca, and then like filled his sink up and just stuck his head in it for 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Every day, because it would have been hard work, that, wouldn't it? It would have been
you
difficult.
hear the stories about Phil Hay getting text messages from and phone calls from Salino at 2 a.m, and you're like,
what did Rads get?
Dude's clearly off his nut, like, you know what I mean? You know, it's like, why is he ringing a reporter at 2 a.m? But you know,
he's not right, is he? He's not right.
Yeah,
but
well, like,
you kind of look back, and Radrizzani coming in was kind of the start of sort of getting things back onto an even keel. Yes, we should have made the playoffs under Gary Monk in 16-17. Yes, we had a great start 17-18 under Christensen, and it just kind of fell away. And then obviously Bielsa's come in, and it's been very, very positive. So when Radrizzani does decide to pass over the book to the 49ers, no pun intended there, we'll pass the book, and that's a bit of an American term. It'll be remembered for all the right reasons for me, and the job that he's done and got Leeds United back into the Premier League. So yeah, as I say, all very positive. It looks like, according to the reports in the Athletic, that it should happen before 2024. So, and hopefully by then we are an established Premier League side.
400 million
I think,
is what I read.
I know. I think that he's the best owner that I certainly can remember. I don't really remember anything before, I think the Caspian guys. I can't remember the owner. I remember Leslie Silver being chairman, but I don't remember much about him.
I think
so. I can't really comment much on that. So
if you
for
look
me,
back
it's Rads.
at the period, Jay, between 1999 and 2001, and take away the court case stuff and take away the off-field stuff, on the field, that's probably my most enjoyable time as a Leeds United supporter, watching our team in a Champions League campaign, beating Besiktas 6-0, going to Anderlecht 4-1, beating Deportivo, beating Lazio in Rome, and they're the memories that will stay with you forever. Unfortunately,
it was amazing.
It was great days. Unfortunately,
the price was too high.
Yeah, it all went tits up, and I know that the players that are involved are all celebrated on the pitch and singing all the songs in the Stadio Olimpico and the San Siro. And unfortunately, because we didn't finish in the Champions League places in both seasons 2001 and 2001-2, it killed the club financially. And you don't think about that as a supporter. When you're on the crest of a wave, like Leeds were, and they would play some magnificent football by Rio Ferdinand, Robbie Keane coming into the club, Robbie Fowler, players we'd never imagined growing up as kids. And they were top of the league on January the 1st, 2002.
A number of people we shouldn't have bothered with.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, it all went horrendously wrong. We finished 5th. The court case probably damaged the image of the football club. David O'Leary brought the book out, which I think, looking back on it, the title didn't help Leeds United on trial.
I could dedicate an entire podcast to talking about all that, so don't take us too deep into it, because
absolutely.
I'll get emotional stats and I'll go off.
Tell me about it.
We're trying to talk about positive stuff about a potential, takeover of the club. Do we think
if you don't have some sort of perspective, Karl, you can't appreciate it, can you?
Yeah.
Well, like, do you think Rads will keep a significant stake in the club? Will it be do you reckon, will it be like 49ers can have 51%, but I'm keeping 49%?
That'll be ironic, wouldn't it? But, I'm not sure whether he'd do that or not. I think he'd probably keep enough of a stake to stay on the board.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they might even want him to stay as chairman. You never know. I could see Larry ended up as chairman, though.
The other thing is, as well, Rads,
he might just say no. Yeah, that's where I was going to go. He might just say, "Well, no, I'm gonna duck out and go and concentrate on another club now, take on another project." I tell you what, if he does what he did with us to other clubs, the amount of money he could make going forward, building clubs up and selling them on.
But sure, he'll have 400 million in his back pocket when he leaves us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So he could do that to any club, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Buy another second division team and just, get them for the price he got us for, and just absolutely plow it into it.
That's it. As long as you don't buy anyone in England and rebuild them, because it'd end up being somebody like bloody Forest or Derby.
I think Derby's too far gone at the moment. I think they've got their own problems.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't say I feel very sorry for them, so...
No, when it comes to board members and chairman and owners, I think we've kind of, in the last 4 years or 5 years, we've struck gold. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even though there's people online saying he's tight and he's this and he's that, it's like, look, the man's done all right. Like, give him a bit of credit where it's due.
You look back
exactly.
with GFH and Massimo Cellino over the last 10 years, and it's chalk and cheese. It's incomparable, really, for what Andrea's done to this football club. And the stuff with Cellino, it was always on the front pages for the wrong reasons. He said we'd be in the Champions League within 5 years and hired David Hockaday. And
why have we had so many dodgy characters trying to either buy into our club or actually buy into our club? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, we had Ken Bates. He's not exactly, his nose is not clean, is it? Allegedly. We had that bloody, I mean, he's not so much a dodgy character, but we had that bloody Sebastian Sainsbury releasing statements every 5 minutes saying, I want to buy Leeds United. Nothing ever came of that. We had the director guy, Simon What's-His-Face, who ended up locked up, didn't he?
Simon Morris,
That's right. He was a dodgy fucker. We had Cellino. We had GFH with David Haig, who he didn't take any money, so...
Yeah. But we've struck
allegedly, Jay, you forgot to say allegedly.
No, I was quoting him. He didn't take the money. Right, it's okay.
Right, okay.
We've struck gold, and you do have to put things in perspective. I think that's why when you do look back at some of the horrors that we've been through as supporters, we all thought at the time GFH were going to be the saviours. And I remember the banner up at Burnley when Massimo Cellino, come and save us, and look how that was
for what you wish for, eh?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And that kind of split the fan base a little bit. You're either Massimo we trust or Cellino out, and some of the days reading the stuff on social media were just hard to read. And
you're either protesting or holding up a bedsheet, weren't you? I mean, they were the options.
Yeah,
or nailing bits of plywood together to look like a coffin.
Some of that story, with that. But that's for another day. We're in a healthy condition on the pitch and off the pitch, and long may it continue.
Absolutely.
Question I was going to ask you guys about this, going back to the actual topic. Why do you think Rad's is so upset about it being reported?
Private business, isn't it?
But I don't see any reason to be annoyed about that unless he thinks that we're going to look at him badly because it looks like he's lining us up for a sale. But it's not been taken that way by most people, from what I can see.
I think it's more along the lines of he maybe didn't want public knowledge that they'd signed the contract. Maybe he didn't want public knowledge because if they back out, where does that leave him?
Where did the information come from, Karl? Was it something that was published somewhere? Company's house
to do with that
share stuff?
I don't know.
No, but I mean, where did they get it? Is he annoyed because somebody's leaked it, or is he annoyed just because
there
it's
was
been reported?
a tweet, I think, from one of the I don't know if it was a reporter for the Athletic or one of the owners or whatever, but they'd spoken to people and they'd got their information from here and there, and it's reliable and this and that. So to not comment too much on it, I don't know, but the point I was making was that if they pull out and the club's worth far more than 400 million if they pull out, then all of a sudden his estimation of wanting 400 million is in the public eye because that's the contract that he has in place with them. Yeah. So from a business perspective, that screwed him, because if he goes to someone else, they'll go, here's 400 million. He'll be like, well, it's worth 8 now.
Yeah.
And they're like,
that's got to be why a
couple of months ago, you were giving it to them for 4,
Yeah, but that's got to be why there's a break clause for either side, because both sides will have said, well, if this club goes down, we're certainly not giving you 400 million. And Neil has said, well, if we get in Europe, I want 500 million,
Yeah, but that's the thing. You don't want that as public knowledge. Like, you don't want that as public information. That's private kind of contract stuff, from a business perspective. That's the last thing you want. I can understand why he reacted the way he reacted, but at the same time,
tone it down a little, shouldn't he, on Twitter though?
Well, I think he should. I think he should have just contacted Phil or contacted someone and just had a chat with them in private and sorted it out that way. And at least then someone makes a statement without it looking bad on one person or the other, and at least that way it's amicable, and the air is clean then, and it's not all over Twitter and people aren't losing their fucking goddamn minds because he said one thing. But
he probably rang him up. He probably rang you up and called his mum a dog or something, whatever you Italians like to say to people.
I will not talk to you.
I missed that. I think the problem nowadays in football, there's no secrets. Everything seems to leak out one way or another. And I think that I'm not blaming Andrea for what's happened with Twitter, because that's his own private Twitter. That's
what he wants,
to tweet and what have you, and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's probably because it's being put in the public domain. There will be break clauses in them. Absolutely certain of it. Although I think there will be. But yeah, I just think it's probably it broke, and maybe he didn't want it to have all that story breaking. But that's up to Andrea. So at the end of the day, it's his own social media, and he's the owner of this football club that's got this football club back into the Premier League. So he's kind of entitled to sort of tweet what he wants to tweet. That's his prerogative. So for me, and in general, as a general football fan, not just a Leeds fan, I think it's difficult when you're an owner because you're getting pelted with questions on social media, and it's difficult if you react one way and then someone question you on another way, and you can't really, when you're in a no-win situation as an owner on social media, if you say one thing, someone will say, oh, why have you not said this, or you're going to twist this and you twist that, and it's very difficult. And I feel sorry sometimes for Andrea because he can't win on Twitter. For whatever he says, someone will look at it and try and pick a negative out of it. Unfortunately, as owner of Leeds United, it's very difficult. But at the end of the day, it's his own personal Twitter, and to me, that's his prerogative to tweet what he wants to tweet.
Can you remember what their percentage stake is now, Stats?
I think
there he is.
I think it's 40s now, isn't it? I'm sure it's up to 40%.
There was some mad joke that they haven't got to 49; they were at 44 or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah,
that's the one. So yeah.
I was going to say, do you think you might sort of do some sort of deal with them where he increases their shareholding another 5% or whatever in exchange for them developing the ground?
Possibly. I think they'll wait till the summer. It's because obviously the money that you get from where we finish and hopefully touch wood in the Premier League is astronomical. Yes, I know if you do go down, you get the parachute payments, but you don't want to be spending that on the ground. You want to be spending that on trying to get back into the Premier League, which hopefully won't happen. So absolutely. It's possible that it might happen. I think it's going to be a very busy 6 months, and I think it's an important 6 months for the football club, both on and off the field.
I think so. Now that you've bothered to turn up, Adam, do you want to give us a quick thought on Rads and the 49ers stuff today?
The poll outcome, basically.
The poll outcome. Sorry, boys. Yeah. It's
okay, man. Public transport's a bitch.
I'm only pulling you like.
Listen, you know what? I've not. I'll be honest with you. I've been a busy boy today, but from what I've seen and what I understand, I think Rads has got every right to call out journalists. He's the owner of the club. He can do what the fuck he wants, in my opinion.
Well, you've got to have a right to reply, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. And I think I don't. After what the Victor debacle at the weekend, and now Rad's going on a mad one on Twitter, I don't think they're painting themselves in the best light to the fans. But listen, it's not for us to pass judgment, is it? He came, he's. Some people think he's a saviour of the club. Some people think he's a hindrance, and we're always going to have these opinions. My only thing on the 49ers thing, if it is going to come to fruition, is that we don't become a franchise FC. We don't sell the naming rights to Elland Road, but ultimately, investment's investment. And if the 49ers,
I think American owners, Adam, I think he's almost certain to sell the naming rights.
Well, yeah, personally. Of course you are. And it is going to go to franchise FC, and you've seen it in Super League. When they try and do franchises, it fucks it up. And we've seen it from Liverpool have had their fair share of problems with their owners, and I think Villa have got American owners, and I'm sure there's others. But
Burnley as well.
Burnley, yeah.
And quite recent theirs.
Yeah.
But it's just the way modern football is, and we can get pissed off about it, and we can cry about it, but ultimately, we're tiny parts. The fans are not the important bit about football anymore. At any club, at any level, the fans mean fuck all. So we can cry about it on social media. We can cry about it on podcasts all we want. We don't care. We don't matter.
I just want to go back to a point Stats made earlier on.
Oh, you're going to bring up what I was about to say. Yeah, go on.
Rattled off a load of things there, and Bremner's Ghost has after that list, he just forget the January window.
I was itching to bring that one up,
man. I you know what I mean. Like, we've had some terrible fucking January windows, but anyway. He's also commented, only thing Eeyore should be renamed is Hell and Back Road. Nice one. Cheers to that, brother.
What do you reckon, though? Like, I know I'm late to the party on this. I'm sure you've already discussed it. Sorry, guys. I will listen back. But the 49ers thing, are we in agreement that we've got fuck all to say about it? Just let them get on with it. It's going to happen if it happens. And
I think so.
Yeah,
I think we're all kind of the mindset. Rads has done a great job, and we trust him to a degree to pass the club on to the right people now. And as Karl said just before you joined, you know, they've got a Leeds fan on that board now, haven't they, with that Lowry guy? So there's somebody there who understands the club, you know, and hopefully that'll keep them on the straight and narrow.
Didn't we say that about GFK as well?
JFK? Yeah. Who's that?
They were
JFK is dead.
JFK is dead.
It's been a long day. When Dave got involved, yeah. So, yeah.
We did. But we know that the 49ers have got money. We just assumed GFH did.
Yeah. Right. Well, okay. Let's get off that topic. We're on to the game at the weekend. We talked briefly about it earlier on when we were talking about players, but Jesus, it's going to be a tough game now, I think, on Saturday. They've got a bit of a COVID problem at the moment, so it could rule a couple of players out. But Adam, seeing as you're just after joining us, man, I'll go to you first. You're welcome, bud, anytime, man. So what do you give us, you know, chance wise down in London? Do you think we've any chance at all?
No.
Straight to the point.
I tried to make that as short as humanly possible, and
I know,
still
mate.
got a
You're
fucking
still gonna get
no
one
out of you.
answer.
That's all I got. Like, you're
Sorry,
a dick.
pal. I think if we come away with a point, I think we've done fucking well. I think we're going to struggle. I know they got beat by West Ham, but West Ham are an exceptional team this season. Moyes got them playing well, so no, I can't see us getting anything from it. And I think if we get a point, it will be a really, really, really strong result for us. But I just think I don't know. I can't make this as any more than I'm saying. We're going to get beat. Simple.
Anyway, fuck you, Adam. Stats, what's the crack, man? What's your opinion? Give us something a little bit more cheery than this prick down the bottom left corner.
We know we're going into these 4 games as underdogs. Well, maybe not the Arsenal games. I do think we can get a result against the Gunners. I thought they were awful against Everton.
We owe them a result, I tell you.
Last night. The Chelsea game for me is interesting on 2 perspectives. Chelsea are in Russia tomorrow. I think they're playing Zenit for their last Champions League game. I'm intrigued to see what team they put out tomorrow night. And I think we'll get a better idea. They'll probably rest players for all we know. But we'll get a better idea because they've then got to fly back from Russia and what have you. And we did something very similar back in 1999. I know football's different back then. We played Lokomotiv Moscow on the Thursday. We flew back on the Friday. We played Wimbledon on the Sunday and got beat 2-0 because of the tired legs. And travelling does play a part on for footballers. Now, I don't think it's as easy as it suggests that Chelsea go out there and win 3-0. I really don't. I think in patches this season, Leeds have played some really nice football. Leicester City, for example, 45 minutes, thought we dominated the game, and I thought we were absolutely brilliant. And we're unlucky not to come away with 3 points. And I think Hartby Barnes equalised so quickly. It just knocked a bit of the stuffing out of them. But yeah, I think it'll be tough. I think it's notoriously tough down there. We haven't got a great record down at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. It's only, I think, off the top of my head, 2 wins in the Premier League era. That's I think one came in 94-5 when we won 3-0 when Yeboah got a brace, and 2-0 in December 1999 when Steve McPhail got a brace. So we know it's going to be tough down there. And the last time we went down there in December, on a 3:00, which is another strange one to have. It was the week after Billy Bremner's death, obviously celebrating his passing today, 24 years. We went down there, we drew 0-0. We had Gary Kelly sent off, we had Alfie Allen sent off, and amazingly we had that with 9 men for a point in the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Now, it's going to be feisty. We know that. We know there's no love lost between the two sides. It's a game I'm looking forward to. I love these games. These are the games as a supporter that you love to be part in the Premier League. There's no love lost between Chelsea and Leeds going back to 1970. And I think it's a game the players can go in and relish with no pressure on them because no one's expected to do anything.
I agree with that. But Jay, just going to a point
Hang
there
on.
that...
Sorry. That says it in a roundabout way that we're going to get beat. And you go, yeah. I say we're going to get fucking pumped, and you call me a prick. What's that about?
But you say we're going to get pumped every week. It's stats is like, you know,
Yeah, you do.
It's a bit more optimistic. But this is what we're going to try and get out of Gilly because we need to prove that off. But Jay, I just go back onto something Stats mentioned there about there is a history between the two clubs. Do you think in the modern game it's become more between the fans than the players on the pitch?
I think the rivalry lives on through the fans because we've not been in the same league as them for a long time. So there's been no footballing rivalry, has there?
Yeah.
So we just have to hope the fans win the Battle of the Tube Station as well as Leeds winning the Battle of Stamford Bridge. I'm joking. I wouldn't condone that kind of thing.
No.
I mean, I think regarding the game itself, it's hard for any of us to make a prediction without knowing whether those players are injured or not, because it changes our chances massively.
Of course it does.
Yeah. Well,
I think if those guys are back,
I
think if they're back, there's potential for a draw there. I mean, I know I'm being optimistic, but there's potential. Without those players, I think we're just sinking. I think we're getting torpedoed by a Russian sub.
Well, those two players, set up and one scored our goal there last year. So,
we need those boys.
Yeah.
Even if they're on one leg each. If they're on one leg each, it could be like one of them races where you tie the bad leg together, and like they could just run around the pitch. Just like, like
is that not called a 3-legged race, no?
That's it, mate. A tripod man.
Tripod man.
Like
Siamese tripod twins.
I'm quietly optimistic we can get a result. I'm not sure what kind of result it is, but I'm quietly optimistic because
it'll be a result, mate. It's not the one we want, but it'll be a result.
I said we can get a result. That's what I said. I said we can. I'm quietly optimistic we can get a result.
Oh God,
me too.
Not the.
Can you imagine?
Wording knob.
Can you imagine if we go there and all those players are out injured and we just end up getting like a Tyler Roberts masterclass and he just puts them away?
No.
Stranger things have happened.
It is the time of fucking Christmas miracles, I suppose.
Exactly.
Would be, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ.
It would.
Be like, yeah.
But because it is Leeds, what will happen is if we do win any of those games, other than the Arsenal one, we'll then lose the Arsenal one because that's the one we all feel like we could get something out of.
Yeah.
And we'll be no better off points-wise, but, we'll have had some good days out.
Be a bit of crack at the end of the day.
Yeah, the point is I'm not eating them crisps.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. We really screwed the pooch there on Sunday, didn't we? We fucked it for ourselves.
Listen, it's been voided by those injuries.
Has it?
There you go.
I'm so happy. Like, this is live and recorded, so I'll take your word for that, Jay, man. Happy days. I'll take that. Yeah, Nolan Boyd there.
Massive going into this game is we've got Roberts on 4 yellows, we've got Raf on 4 yellows, we've got Rodrigo on 4 yellows. Coupled to the alleged injury news, it's going to be tough these next 4 games, but they're the games you're in football for. This is why we won promotion, to play the likes of Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. They're the games you dream of playing as a young boy, and I'm sure all the players will relish these occasions. And for me, it's a part of this. I love Christmas football, whatever the results. I love the Christmas football because it's such a packed schedule. And coming up to Christmas and New Year, we've got 5, 6 massive games of football, and I'm hoping the table will look a lot clearer and a lot brighter for Leeds fans come Well, I don't know what time the Burnley game kicks off on the 2nd of January, but come whatever time that game finishes on the 2nd of January, and we're looking in a very healthy position.
Whatever time Sky decides, I guess.
Yeah, I've lost track.
Can I make a point? And I don't know if anybody else has thought of this, and I always think of it because I'm a cynical old bastard. But
There we go.
January transfer window, there's rumours that Calvin's pissed off and unhappy playing centre-back and all this media nonsense, and I know he's come out and said he's not. If he is injured, does it take him out of the eyesight of other teams because he's not going to be playing over December? Does it take him out of the limelight? Is he injured? Are we protecting our prized asset by?
Can I answer this question, please?
Are you going to call me a dick?
No, I'm not. I'm going to say you should have fucking been here 45 minutes ago when we had this conversation.
Oh, really? I can't do everything,
You were being a nice chap, so that's
was.
why you were late. We're putting it down to that, man. But no, we had that chat earlier, and we didn't mention the whole keeping him out of the shop window thing like you did there, but we don't think there was too much in the tackle that he went off for. It wasn't very innocuous. We've seen him absolutely leather your man there, Conor Gallagher, last weekend, and get up and jog it off, So I can't imagine it's too much, but it'd be nice to keep him out of the window as well, to be fair.
I think, to answer that, Adam, I think it's a question of waiting to see how long he's injured for, because until we've got the press conference on Thursday, it's all a bit of hearsay as far as I'm concerned. Look, the rumours might be true, they might not be true. We don't know.
Where did it come from, Stas? Where did this rumour come from?
Yeah, this is the thing, man.
Wacko.com.
Wacko, like.
Yeah, I've not read Wacko in years. I've obviously logged on tonight to see where it started from. But
I stopped reading Wacko about the same time I stopped reading the fucking Beano.
Yeah, there you go then. I don't know how people find out things like
Basically.
this, but it's a case of watch this space with it all, as far as I'm concerned. So
apparently, the guy who said it was right about some previous ones. That's why people are worried. That's why.
Let's see. I'm always dubious to things like that.
It's from Michael Brown. He's so long as the bottom three don't make inroads on Leeds points wise after the 4 games, I think we'll be okay.
The 3 worst teams in the league.
That is the hope.
Just definitely
Newcastle have a shit run. Newcastle have a shit run as well.
We have a shit run now, but at least we get it out of the way, for a couple of weeks, and then we can build up a bit of a momentum.
I'm just looking at Burnley's fixtures leading up to our game. They've got West Ham at home, Watford at home, Villa away in the Claret and Blue derby, Everton at home, Man U away, then Leeds at home. So there's no guarantee they're going to pick up points.
And they've also got to reschedule that Spurs game as well.
Correct. And Leeds just have to keep churning out the points. Simple as that. Concentrate on ourselves and see where we are on January the 3rd.
Yeah,
it'd be nice if they had to fit that extra game in just a couple of days before the players, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be lovely. It'd be lovely. That's something for the Premier League to decide on.
Absolutely.
Even the Tottenham Brighton game. I know Brighton are not near us at the moment, but that game could be possibly called off because of COVID issues. That Tottenham have had 6 players go down with COVID.
That's why even under 23 team, though. That's why even under 23 team. Sorry.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I don't care if they haven't got the players. Take your under 20. We had a 15-year-old on the bench against them. They can go and shite. Play your game with who you've got. Simple.
Yeah.
We'll swiftly move along on to the predictions league. Could one of you fine gentlemen write down the predictions, please?
I'm going to volunteer one of you guys to do it because I always seem to write these down.
I've got pen or paper, but I can put
I'll do it on my phone.
Yeah, go on.
There we go.
I'll do it on my phone.
All right, Jay, I'm going to come to you first, man.
All right, well, I'm going to hope to God that these injuries are just rumours, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw just on the off chance. And also, Karl, just to let you know, I don't actually have the authority to null and void that whole chip thing. I just want to give you some hope.
You're a dick.
I can't wait to watch you to eat them, Chris.
What are you talking about, man? It's me and you. It's me and you. It's me and you.
Is Jay not involved?
No.
No, Jay, do you want to get involved?
To be fair, I think I was involved. It was one where, like, if one didn't come off, one of you had to eat it, and if it did, the others had to eat it. I can't remember.
It's in the chat somewhere, isn't it?
So am I lumped in with you, Karl, or am I lumped in with him?
No, you're not lumped in with me, mate.
Well,
the thing is, I was
But
going
I'm
to deny
not.
it, but I just thought
Little
somebody
fuck.
in group will just say something, so there's no point in that.
Get away with nothing in there.
No, you don't get away with this stuff. Not in this podcast.
No.
Adam, what are you going, man? Mr. fucking positive here.
Mr. Optimistic.
Go on, Adam. Tell us what you really think.
3-0 Chelsea.
Oh,
You motherfucker.
Sorry.
I don't like honesty that much, you know. I like it, but not to the extent that you dish it out. Like, that's a bit fucking much.
You can go off people, can't you?
Yeah, it can turn you off
Really?
someone. Like,
So much kids there's no such thing as Santa Claus earlier. Like, fuck it. Not fucking about today. Not my watch.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to sit on the fence for this one.
Oh, don't do it, Stats. No, don't be a Karl. You've got to put your
no,
money
he's
in
got
where
to
your
give
mouth
you
is.
one.
Not my type. Do you know what? These 4 games are games that no one expects us to get any points in. Let's go and get a point. Let's go and draw 1-1 at Stamford Bridge and come back on the coach and head off to Man City on Tuesday.
Perfect.
There you
And
go.
as our regular watchers know, we've included a fan's choice. Bremner's Ghost got in there about 20 minutes ago. There we go. That's from Bremner's Ghost for the fans' prediction.
I've
We're
never
on the
seen
same
Bremner's
page.
Ghost and Jay in the same room. I want to
Well.
recount.
What a recount.
I'm saying nothing.
Yeah, well, these things happen,
Yeah,
don't they? Like, so lads, that kind of brings a close to this week's podcast. Has anyone else got anything they'd like to say regarding
Your
anything?
prediction?
I don't give predictions.
Karl never
You
gives
can't
predictions.
catch me out like that,
You're
man. I don't
nice
do
try,
it.
Stats. Nice try.
Nice.
I do admire the attempt there, Stats. I would give you that, man. Fair
We've all
play.
failed over the years.
We always try. We always
There's
try.
There's only one so far, Stats, and it was the last game of last season. That was it. And I
West Brom one.
I fucking predicted correctly as well, which was mad. But I won't do it again because it's far too close down the bottom at the moment.
So basically, you're too selfish to give us a prediction, even the last time we won a game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Horrible bastard.
I'll finish off with 2 points very quickly. Leeds have won 4-1 at Coventry in the FA Youth Cup.
Oh, nice.
Grayson, Maxstein, Golston, Bradbury and Wilson. And I'll finish off on a really good note. How good was it to see Gaetano Berardi up at
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
What a
good.
guy.
So
What a guy.
good.
Love him.
Is
What
he
can
not
do
going
with
about
him?
the weekend? Is he going to? Because I know a few of us are going to Skylights out being wakey. Do you reckon he's knocking about for
He
that?
might be. He might be. I know he's a big
Give him
fan.
a message on his Instagram there, man.
Oh.
Do it. You never know.
So, happy
Yeah,
I
I
might
news.
have to not sell my ticket if he's going, like.
You sold your ticket?
Well, I've got my staff party, haven't I, man? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
See, yours
God.
changed. Yours was meant to be the same night, but it changed, didn't it? It's 17th now, isn't it?
17th, yeah.
Yeah, mine's the
Yeah.
night before as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What
Fun
a
day.
state we're all going to be in.
Yeah. Fun times. Fun times.
Anyway,
Anyway,
have we got any off the VAR or anything coming up, Karl? Anytime
We're
soon?
going to have a look into that. Yeah, I need to see what the crack is with Jimmy and all that. But I'll let everyone know.
I'm missing
and
his
we'll go from
insight,
there.
especially when we keep getting shit refs.
Yeah, it's the other thing, isn't it? But yeah, so look, we'll leave it there. And look, thanks again for joining us, Adam. Better late than never, man.
Cheers, mate.
Appreciate it. Public transport's
Cheers,
a
boys.
bitch. Have a nice evening.
See you in a bit.